Hey, I'm Christopher, and welcome back to Holy and Messy. Calling isn't just about working in a church or holding a title. It's about discovering how your faith speaks to every part of your life. Your work, your relationships, and even the small daily choices. Today, Beth is with us to share how she uncovered her gifts, found direction, and began to live out her calling in ways that felt both practical and personal. Through her story, we'll see that calling isn't something far off or reserved for a few special ones. It's something each of us can walk in, right where we are. It's about letting faith shape the life we live every single day. This is episode 7 of The People, the Path, and the Faith. Let's dive in. How are you doing?
Yes, all right, thank you.
You're good? Please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
My name is Beth. Moved to Stockport 2 years ago, originally from Wigan. Wigan doesn't get mentioned a lot in the general world.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
From Wigan, and married to Rob, who is a Baptist minister in training.
A lovely brother.
Yes.
He's my guy.
Yeah, work for Christians in Schools Trust, which is a schools charity in Stockport. I get the joy to work with all the lovely teenagers in the secondary schools in Stockport, and also a trainee therapist as well. Yeah.
Therapist?
Counsellor or therapist.
Tell us a little bit more about therapist.
So I'm in my last year with Chester Uni doing clinical counselling, learning how to listen to people and help them with their issues. So I've been seeing clients for a while now, which has been really good.
What brings you into it?
Well, in short answer, God. I feel like
that's right.
this is the answer to one of the questions. So
yeah. Okay. We're gonna get it. Yeah, we're gonna get into it later. Okay.
But yeah, right. Short answer is definitely God, but also I just feel like it fits all the gifts that God's given me. So yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure this isn't the question. So, how do you feel like being a pastor wife?
So when I found out, I think it was before me and Rob got engaged, or we might have just got engaged, and Rob felt he was called to become a minister. My heart sank a little bit, and I had to write I had to write a pros and cons list, because I know how hard it is to be a church leader. They are like the focal point for, good things and bad things, and being a leader is a lot of responsibility, and I knew being married to one, you'd have to support them and be also in the line of, I guess, like criticism a bit as well. But so I had to write pros and cons lists. Thankfully there was more on the pros lists than on the cons list. So so generally it is good, and it is a privilege. You get an insight into people's lives that you might not normally do, and
it challenged you a lot, right?
Yes, challenging, but you get to be part of a church community, and and people see you as a safe person, really. I think if you're married
as a saint, as an ultimate saint.
I don't know if they do anymore.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
But it is good most of the time.
Do I heard my one of my close friends who told me, like, become a pastor wife, actually you need to love the Lord more than your husband does.
Oh.
How do you see that?
Need to love God more than my husband loves God.
Yeah, because you need to embrace, like, he's got to be a busy person. He needs to share his love with lots of people, not just you.
Yeah, you have to learn to share. I have to learn to share Rob.
And share Rob. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm one of them. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I feel like we've both been on the journey of how we love God and love people in lots of different ways, which is obviously what we're talking about today. But I don't know if I love God more than Rob loves God. I feel like that would feel like a competition. But yeah, I feel like we're on, even though we're married, we're still on like our own journeys, but then we kind of come together and journey it together. I don't know. That sounds very cheesy, but I don't think it's one more than the other. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So okay, let's go through the questions and the people, the path, and the faith. So the first question I got for you is: was there anyone who modeled what it looked like to live their calling faithfully outside of traditional ministry?
Yeah. I couldn't think of like one specific person. I feel like it was so. When I moved to Manchester, which was like 10 years ago now, I joined the Message Trust to do a gap year, and I learned about a charity called the Eden Network, and that was an organisation that encouraged groups of people to move onto like council estates or places where the income is like generally lower than the average, like most of the UK, so kind of disadvantaged areas. And I got to see different Eden teams around the country and learn about like how these groups of people like dedicated like their whole life. So it wasn't just like the job. So some of them would just be full-time teachers or even like doctors, but then they dedicate like their whole life to living intentionally in a community, living like alongside people and journeying with them.
And like a local priest then, like how it used to.
Yeah, so they would be they would be partnered with a church.
That's
like
beautiful.
They all would go to the same church, and they, in lots of different creative ways. So some Eden teams, they focused on music, and they'd set up all these different community like music groups or music youth groups, teach people how to play music, and then that's how they would journey with people and relationally like tell them about Jesus.
Oh wow.
And it looked different with each Eden team, depending on what the needs of the area were. So eventually, after I'd finished my gap year, I joined an Eden team in Manchester.
Oh, come on.
And yeah, and got to see how, like as a team, how we would journey with people in our estate. So we lived in that estate, we went to church in that estate, some of us worked in that area as well. And we just would see the same people every day that we lived next to. The young people we focused on young people. So we did a lot of youth groups, and I'd see the young people every day. We'd go into the local high school and would see them, and they would see how we lived our Christian life. And yeah, you just got to do life with people. And because I'm quite creative, like art-wise, I'd try like set up youth groups where we'd always do something creative, and it was either lead into conversations about Jesus, or as we were doing stuff, we'd have conversations about Jesus. And I think for me that felt like a new idea to start off with. Like it's ministry isn't just what we do on the Sunday morning, or it's not just the minister vicar doing it. It's not just I need a job that has to do with ministry. It's like my whole life is ministry.
It's not like set up stuff in church, right?
Yeah. And I thought that was a new idea, but then when you look at Jesus and the disciples, really, like it was just natural. Like it was just like their whole life. It wasn't like I've told this person about Jesus now, or this person has found out about Jesus through like a big Christian event, and then that's it. It's like you're discipling people because you're doing life together, walking through life. So it's not just a one-off, they've heard about Jesus, but they're hearing and hopefully seeing it every day or every week. And then the church becomes very much part of like the community. And yeah,
that's what supposed Christians should look like. That's what I think.
I think so.
Yeah, to live. I don't want to say like live together in a house, it's not a must, but you need to live close to each other,
Yeah.
If that's how I see it. Is like if the mission is to love people and go out there and discipling people, just like you said, but we were not close to them at all. Like, how do you disciple them then? We couldn't just rely on phone calls, right? Sometimes we need to spot what do they need, because they don't even know what they need.
Yeah. Right? And then, I think that's why I think it's so important to invest in your local church, even if it's not upcoming or has the latest worship music. But I think instead of you're not jumping into a community and then jumping back out, that you're there, and people see that. And I think going to that local church, you're supporting like the community as well as the church, I think. And hopefully people will see that and want to know more.
So what's your, do you have any go-to trick when you work with the youth?
Just be yourself. Young people can tell when you're not being yourself. I think I always used to think I wasn't cool enough.
Share more.
Yeah, well, yeah. I always used to think I wasn't cool enough to be a youth worker because...
You wasn't?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm not really into latest music, or I'm not into fashion or anything like that. And so, but I feel like when I pretended to be or tried to be, the young people could tell I wasn't being myself. And they're like, well, if this person's not being themselves, why should I trust anything that they're saying? So eventually I just learned to be my normal, I am socially awkward, like self, but I think I just, you just lean into that this is who God's made me to be. And then I feel like I feel comfortable in who I am. Hopefully then the young people feel comfortable with who I am. And then that's where that relationship starts. And you can, just be a comfortable, safe person for people. I don't think it's about I think some part of it's having like the right language and stuff, but I would never talk in a way in young people speak and like the latest slang or whatever, because that's not me. But
you would not blend in. You'd be like, yeah, that's who I am.
Yeah, and people know, like, the young people would laugh at me if I asked, oh, what does like skibbity mean? Like, I still don't know what it means. Someone needs to explain it in like me terms. But
skibbity.
Yeah, what does it mean?
I don't even know.
But they laugh, but then they explain it to you. So I feel like it's kind of like they're in the position of teaching you about something.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like role reversal for a bit. And I think like even with counselling as well, I always explain to people in my sessions that I'm not the expert on you, you're the expert on you. And I feel like it levels that playing field. Like, I'm not the expert on young people. So when they explain their culture to me, I feel like it helps to just, we're on the same level.
And you try to, and that specific thing, actually, you're empowering them to talk more.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, and to feel like, I'm not just here to teach.
Yeah.
Right? And we're sharing information as well.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to build up the rapport as well.
I hope so. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay, let's go to the second session. So the path. So I got the questions like, was there a season or moment when your purpose clicked? Like, this is what I was made to do. Yes.
So I feel like with youth work is something I never set out to do or particularly wanted to do. When I was a teenager, I hated being a teenager. I hated other teenagers because I just was just like, I don't know, just didn't relate to them because of life circumstances at the time. And I remember saying to God, like, I will never be a teacher or work in schools.
Most of the time we said that thing,
I was
and it would become that thing.
Don't say that to God.
Yeah. I was like, that's your advice then. Don't say that to God. Okay.
But when I found out about this gap year with the Message Trust, never heard of the Message Trust before. I think I wanted to do it to pursue music because I did music A-level. Wasn't particularly good at it, but I just thought, I like listening to music. I like playing music. And so I ended up on the gap year of the Message Trust, and they focus on creative evangelism, specifically youth evangelism, and music-based. And I wanted to focus on the music. But when I was at the Message Trust, you get given placements. And I got a placement with a youth group. And I remember I just used to dread it. I'm just like, I'm not good at this. This is not what I'm here for. But someone who worked for the Message gave a talk about how they asked God to give them a heart for the people they were serving. And I was like, I feel like I need to do this, or else I just feel like I'm wasting my time and the young people's time. And I remember this is the fastest that God has ever answered my prayer. I went into my bedroom like that night that I heard that sermon, and I prayed to God that he would give me a heart for the young people. And literally it was like overnight. I had the youth group the next evening, and I remember walking in and God just like broke my heart for like the young people that they didn't know that he loved them. They didn't know that they were made by him. And I was just like, so that is just the fastest that he's ever answered my prayer, God. Like,
so you asked for the heart?
Yeah, for heart. And literally I remember just feeling just emotional that these young people didn't know who God was, didn't know why they were here. And from then on, that's just carried on. And wanted to, has put like a longing inside of me to make sure that young people know how much they're loved by God, no matter what's going on, no matter what their circumstances are. So that was it for youth work, really. That's kind of what ignited that kind of flame.
It's like a miracle.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It is. I think at the time it probably didn't feel like it. I was like, but when I look back, definitely, because it's changed my life pursuits, really. Like, it's changed what I thought I wanted to do in life. From
doing like an individual project of doing music to become like, to work more with the youth.
Yeah.
It's a completely different path.
It is. Yeah. And like with counselling, so again, when I was at the Message Trust, we got the opportunity to go to South Africa, because there's a Message Trust in South Africa. And whilst we were out there, we visited a township, and we went into prisons, which was amazing. And but we were in this church, which was in a township in South Africa, and everyone, like, it was just a different experience of church. But there was the one white guy who was part of this church, really tall, old guy with white hair. Okay. And he was prophesying over all of us that had gone to South Africa and to this church. And I remember him praying over everyone, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. He's praying really cool things over everyone. And then he gets to me and he's like, you're going to become a counsellor. And I was just like, ugh.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah, he said that to me. I didn't know what a counsellor was.
Precisely. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, ugh, that sounds so boring. Like, as everyone else got, you're going to be a great leader, you're going to, and I was just like, in my head, a counsellor was someone who sat in an office and did paperwork. I don't think I really knew what it was. Yeah. Anyway, so that was like nearly 10 years ago. And during COVID, I was doing youth work still, but I specifically felt like there was something that I didn't feel like I wanted to do more for the young people. We had a lot of young people at the time who were struggling with their mental health for lots of different reasons. And I just didn't feel like my position as a youth worker was doing enough to help. And I was coming to the end of my theology degree, thinking about the future. And I remember just Googling, like, jobs to do with whatever, theology, youth work, Okay. And counselling came up as on the list. So, and I'd completely forgotten about this prophecy from this guy.
How could you forget? Unbelievable.
But I clicked on it and I was like, there's like doing a level 3 course at Salford Uni. I was like, this sounds like it fits kind of the gifts that God has given me. Like, I feel like I'm, like, people have said that, you know, I'm quite good at listening and like kind of like quite a gentle, quiet personality. And I love listening to people's stories. So I feel like it ticked a lot of boxes. So I kind of pursued that. So this was probably like 2 years later. I'd graduated from my theology degree and I'd started a level 3 in counselling skills at Salford. And I was halfway through and I think I was preparing like a sermon for something, and I was looking back over past journals and I'd kept a journal from when I was on the Message gap year. And I'd got to the bit about us being in South Africa. And I was reading it, and I read a bit about this guy prophesying all of us. And I wrote, the only white guy in the church prophesied over all of us. He told me I was going to be a counsellor, ... That sounds really boring. But I was like, that's amazing. That's 10 years ago. Yeah. And I'm on this journey to train to be a counsellor.
Right?
Yeah, I was just like, I feel like nothing like that's happened to it, because I hear about other people saying that. And I'm always a bit suspicious, like, oh yeah, people have told you you're going to be a minister. So then you make plans to become a minister. But I was like, I've completely forgotten about it. It's only 10 years later I've opened my journal and that and I was just like, whoa. So it's just, that's felt amazing. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow. So tell me a little bit more. So I believe like there's some brother and sister out there like How do I put it that way? How do I put it? So you are learning certain skills, for example, like counseling skills from a secular school, right?
Yeah.
But you got your theology training, of course, it's like a Christian-based thing for sure, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes, especially right now in our age, like they will feel like there's some conflict between what they learn from the secular school.
Yeah.
And it's kind of compromised the truth a bit.
Yeah.
Have you a little bit, do you have like little experience at that era of?
I've been asked that a lot because I did.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I did my level 3 at Salford, and now I'm in my last year at Chester University, and they're both secular. There's a guy on one of my leading tutor on Chester actually is a Christian. He's just left to go somewhere else actually, but yes, and people say that does it conflict, but it hasn't. I feel like it fits with my values as a Christian. So we learn about, so I do person-centered counselling, and it's all about showing unconditional positive regard, which to me translates as like people are searching for unconditional positive regard, which translates as like unconditional love basically. And as a counsellor we're taught to show that as much as possible to everyone, and it's like, because that's what we're all looking for really at the end of the day, that unconditional love, that as a Christian I know the only place we get that is from God.
Yeah.
And for me that just clicked in my head really. That's like, yeah, I get to show that to people as a counsellor, even if like I might not outright say, I mean most people know that clients know that I'm a Christian because my placement is with a Christian charity, but not all of our clients are Christian, but they assume that I am. But I get to show that love, and I always say Ephesians 3 verse 14 to 21 about that each client, that I just pray over the church that they will know just the widest, deepest love of Jesus, as hopefully that as I practice with them, like as I counsel them, and we're shown to show like UPR and then empathy, so just that deep understanding as well. And it's just, for me, it's just another way to love people, and we learn all the theory, and there'll be some things that I don't agree with, but on the course we're just taught as much as possible not to judge, what people believe, because at the end of the day, and this is what my lecturer said, he said that people are just doing the best they can with what they've got. So people have come to like a certain situation in their life or a certain belief or judgment because of their life circumstances, and as much as possible as counsellors we're just taught to be understanding and non-judgmental as much as we can, because obviously we're humans and we still judge, and just to show that to everyone. And I think that's what Jesus did to everyone, even if he communicated to them in different ways. Obviously he was really harsh to the Pharisees,
yeah, for sure,
and really gentle to like the women and stuff, but he still communicated love in different ways to people and didn't judge really. Like, you didn't condemn them, did he? Obviously that woman who was caught cheating on her husband, like he didn't condemn her, he showed love. And I feel like as the counsellor, I feel like that has honed that discipline really. Like, I'm not perfect at it, you still by any means, but it's just that reminder of like people have got to where they are through life circumstances, and everyone has got stuff going on, and that just kind of aligns with my Christian values. Really.
And I could like see that your role is to not just preach the gospel through word itself, right? It's not like, because just Jesus loved you and stuff. It's more like you need to display that love yourself. It's become more like a vessel to do it, right? And to live on them, to practice what you preach, and to show them that. Yeah.
And this has stayed, and I think one way we can love people is by truly listening to people, because I think most people just want to be listened to. And I got this from a book, I think it's Perks of Being a Wallflower, the book, where the main character says that true listening is not waiting for your turn to talk when someone's talking, but just like actually listening to every word that they say. And that's kind of like stayed with me, like one way to show love to people is just like kind of not waiting to jump in after they've shared something and share my own experiences, but just to actually listen, which is something I think we can all do, not just counsellors, but everyone.
And I could see like, like being a pastor, it's like, it's not just hearing what people said.
No.
Right? Most of the time we just hear and we just want to, we thought we're listening, but most of the time we're just hearing what people said.
Yeah.
But we're not trying to understand their circumstances because we jump into that judgment too quickly as well. You're not doing that stuff according to the Bible. And, through the scriptures, you're not supposed to do that. There's lots of expectation from the pastor to the brother and sisters as well. But, there's a huge difference, between listening and hearing. Yeah. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the last session, the faith.
Yeah.
So, how do you guard your identity so it stays rooted in Christ, not just in what you do? That's a tough one.
It is a tough question, but I had an experience that came to mind actually, and I think it was during COVID, which I feel probably for a lot of people was starting to question their purpose in life and reevaluate what they were doing.
Yeah.
So I'd been a youth worker for obviously quite a lot of years, been part of the Eden team, was still part of the Eden team during COVID. But obviously a lot of things changed. We had to move a lot of stuff online, like everyone did. But I didn't feel like we were being as effective because a lot of our young people, for whatever reason, couldn't access the internet or the technology to be able to get on Zoom or whatever. So we had a very small amount of young people that we were still ministering to and supporting. And it just didn't feel like I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't supporting people enough. I was like, this is not I'm not doing a good enough job for God, basically. And I felt like I didn't have any purpose. I feel like even though I was still working, I was studying, I still felt there was a lot of time where I was just like, I don't know what to do. And I feel like, I feel like a lot of my identity was wrapped up in the youth work that I was doing. And I just felt like I'm not doing a good job, and that means I'm not a good Christian, and that means God doesn't love me as much. So I'd got to a point where it's like,
I understand that.
So I was like, oh, I do stuff and that means God loves me, whereas it's like God loves you and I do stuff. You're supposed to do stuff out of love. And I think these were probably like the early signs of probably burning out from doing a lot of youth work actually, but I just didn't notice it at the time. But but that was the first time that I'd recognised. I was just like, my identity is what I do, and obviously as a Christian, and now I know that's not true, but I just didn't really know it at the time. And it's taken me a few years. I mean, obviously that was 2020 and we're in 2025 now. And I would say probably only in the last couple of years, last year, since I left the Eden team, actually, that my identity is that God loves me, and that's it, really. Like, I don't have to do anything, and I will never be worthy enough of God's love. Anyway, no matter what I do, he just loves me because he loves me, and
it's not what you've done, right?
And I think from that point that I recognised it during COVID, actually I don't think I even recognised it at the time. It's only looking back, but I could see that was a downward spiral to just being burnt out, feeling like nothing that I can do is good enough. If I'm not doing my job well, then I'm a bad Christian, and I'm not doing what God wants me to do, and I'm disappointing him. And I think at the time we had a culture that we just worked. I mean, I think that's not just in Christian circles, but in our world really, that we just work, and that's where we get our identity from. But I feel like, having left that kind of Eden team, which was still really good, and I would have stayed there until I obviously got married and moved to Stockport, but I think it just gave me a break to be like, actually that's not
give you a season of break, right?
Yes.
To rethink about what you're doing.
Yeah, and just to realise that God loves me. Because I think sometimes when you're a Christian and you're serving, you forget that God's love is for you as well as everyone else that you're serving. So I think I spent a year, I just worked in a pet shop for a year and had a break.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I just kind of had a break. I was still doing like evenings of youth work.
Yeah.
Like 1 or 2, not as much as what I was doing. I wasn't working full time for Eden, so I wasn't in full time ministry, and I just had a break. Yeah, about 18 months, and I feel like just got to know God in a different way, like not massively different, but just learning that even though I'm not doing all the time, that yeah, God still loves me, and I kind of got to work on that relationship with God, because without that relationship with God, like there's just no point, like unless like it's like Paul says, like love is the most important thing. If you're not doing the work out of love, then it's just a bit pointless, really. Like so yeah, I had my cup filled, and then I could kind of carry on. So that's when we moved to Stockport, and I feel like I've been gradually like taking on stuff nowhere near to the capacity of what I was doing, because I feel like it was probably a bit ridiculous how much stuff I was doing before. But I've noticed that I need time to just be me and God, and not me and youth work, like youth work me and God, but just Beth and God, and that's enough. Like, so like I used to feel guilty if I was ill and I couldn't
go out there and serve him,
but now I'm just like, no, I'm just like, it's okay, God still loves me. Like I haven't lost
no
that.
matter what, God still loves you.
Yeah, and mine involves favourite Bible, well, one of our favourite Bible verses is Romans 8. I should know that, but the one where it says, talks about that nothing can separate you from the love of God.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, even now we try and like tell people about God on the streets and stuff, and that's not a particularly skill that I have. Evangelism isn't.
I couldn't imagine you're at the street and preaching the gospel. I couldn't imagine that. But but I used to feel really guilty about that and be like, oh, I'm a bad Christian because I can't confidently go up to strangers and tell them. Maybe you got lots of doubts on yourself, right? Oh, maybe I'm not bold, and maybe I don't love Jesus enough, right?
And I used to feel really like insecure about it and question it and be like. But now I'm just like, well, I tell people about God in a way that God has given me the skills to do it. Yeah. And even if I haven't told that person about God, he still loves me, which sounds really horrible to say as a Christian, but like if I have missed an opportunity, that's not, I don't get struck off a list or anything. Like God still loves me because he loved me before like I started doing his work or whatever, and he will still love me even when I've messed up. So I feel like as Christians we like hold ourselves to an impossible standard, but obviously we know Jesus has taken that, don't we? And when we've given our lives to God, when God looks at us, he sees Jesus who lives up to that standard. So which doesn't mean that we shouldn't try, but it just means when we fail, it's okay. He
knows it.
Yeah.
So never fail to follow.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
Never stop following. That's the point.
Yeah, even when it's really hard. And there's definitely times where I've wanted to give up, and then but then I just recognise that that's probably I just need to stop some things, but it doesn't mean my relationship with God stops. So yeah.
That's healthy. Right? That's healthy, I think. I think so. Yeah. So when you said you work in a pet shop, it's like before you moved to Stockport, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the year before we moved to Stockport, that year leading up to it.
What you've learned during that period? Or
what did I learn during
that?
I made some really good friends in the pet shop, actually, because you work with the same people every day. Yeah. I learned a lot about pet nutrition. Okay. It comes in handy sometimes. People love animals and people like, I can be like, oh, your dog looks like it needs gluten-free food. So it's a way in sometimes to get to know people. Yeah. So I learned a lot about that. I think weirdly, I don't know if this is a good thing actually, but I got learn obviously sales techniques and how to sell. And I remember getting taught them, and I was like, this is how I've been taught to share the gospel, and that feels wrong.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't be selling the gospel. I shouldn't be selling God to people. Like, and it doesn't feel genuine. So I was thinking this the other week. I was like, because we had a salesman come to our door to try and sell us double glazing.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is how some people share the gospel. Like, you need to convince people. But I'm like, it needs to come from a genuine place. It's like, why am I a Christian? Like, how has God changed my life? Like, how does it affect me every day? And it comes from that genuine point rather than this is how you do it. You have the 3 points and this is how you do it. Because that's, in the pet shop, that's how I was taught to sell products in the shop. Like, and I just remember like my managers telling me how to do it, and I'm like, I feel like this should not be how we share the gospel.
You don't like that framing kind of thing, right?
No, I mean, I think the tools are helpful. Like, they are helpful for people to share. Like, we've got like the 4 points, the 3 circles, whatever. But I think if it becomes a sales technique, it just loses that authenticity and
I know
that realness. And
it's kind of back to what you said, right? The kids know when you're not being authentic.
Yeah. And you go into like a weird, because I used to use like I don't know if you heard that, the 3 circles when we did detached youth work. And it's weird because it's like you go from like a genuine conversation with like, right, now I'm going to draw you a picture and this is how you become a Christian, this is why people.
Oh, really?
And it was just switch from like having a normal conversation to then business mode. And I was just like reflecting on that. I was just like, I feel like for me, I haven't seen that work as much as when I'm just having a genuine conversation and talking about my experiences and how Jesus has changed my life. Even if, because my story's not that dramatic, but I just don't think that matters. Like, I still have moments, like, I can still look back and see where I've tried to turn to other things to satisfy me rather than to God, and recognise that we've all got that longing for something, and for me, God's the only one that satisfies that. I've still got that, so I think that's enough. But but the pet shop was great though. Got to meet a lot of cute dogs. Some cats in backpacks, which was a new thing for me.
Does it help you to see God in a different way? Not in a different way, like in a different angle.
What, when I was working in the pet shop?
Yeah, when you're working in the pet shop.
Well, I think it helped with that identity thing, because I was like, I don't care about... I like animals, but I don't care really about how much pet food I sell or whatever. It's just a job.
Yeah.
So it's like my identity wasn't in my job because it wasn't something that I ever really wanted to pursue. Yeah. So I think that was helpful. I had that separation. But then I could still talk about Jesus in my job and talk to my colleagues about what I do on a Sunday morning and why I do it. So it was a good experience for that, to separate our like job as our identity. But then again, it's like that whole living alongside people. You get to journey with people, because I see them every day saw them every day in the shop, and they watch how you act and stuff like that, and even see, I guess, the times when you do mess up, but see that you're a real person, you're not a weirdo. So well,
we're still human beings, right?
I was going to say,
even
I'm a weirdo,
Christian.
but
That's right. You're still human beings.
Yes.
You know, I still got my emotion, I got all this stuff, but you know, there's something that I think is higher than me, and I want to chase after that, right? Certain values of things. But I also learned I really just don't care about making a lot of money. I feel like when you work in retail, it is so, obviously you have to convince people to buy as many things as possible, and I was just like, that's not my thing, and just nah. And people would get the feeling of, you know, being successful when all this, you know, making those sales, right? Stuff like that. And I didn't have that same drive really to sell. So I feel like some people are just made to as like natural salespeople. But it's not me. I just enjoy talking to people. So that was it. So now you're working with the youth, and how do you because just like I said, there's lots of struggles out there. You know, some of the brothers and sisters, they will struggle on, you know, for example, they work in an NHS or work in certain workspace that they couldn't, it's permitted to share the gospel.
Yes.
And in your workspace now, how do you do it?
Well, I guess at my where I work now is a lot easier because I work for a Christian charity, and the schools I go into know I'm a Christian.
Okay.
I think when I was working, like I said, in like a pet shop, I was a teaching assistant in a high school for a bit, and I'd say in schools, like, because I don't, like, some schools are really sensitive about people sharing their faith, and they don't like it. Sometimes it's just such a busy place that you don't have time to do it. But I think one of my goals was kind of, how do I get to know people? So when I was a teaching assistant in the school, it was really hard. We had a very small staff room. It was really hard to get to know the other teachers and the other staff, which then obviously that makes it harder to share your faith with people. So I just remember I was like, how can I get to know people? And one of the things that I like doing is baking. So I was like, well, I feel like a good way to get to know people is food.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I started baking and bringing it into the staff room, and then people were like, oh, who's made this? And I'd be like, me. And they're like, oh, that's so nice. Like, you start talking about like your hobbies, and then I can start talking about what I do outside of the school, which was youth work as part of like the church, and then I talk about why I do that. And that was just kind of a simple way in. It took a lot of time because, again, like in a school, from my point of view, like it's just so, like, you see people in the corridor, and that's it. But so it's just kind of making those like couple of minutes we got to chat with people over cake. So
oh wow, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, make it like a I don't know how to say it. It's like it's not just a gift. It's more like it's like a doorway, right?
Yeah.
To make it like a doorway to chat with people.
Yeah. Yes. So I don't know. My mum used to work for the NHS as a nurse.
Yeah.
And as kind of her faith grew, I think it was just through things like she would just be like, you know, probably singing worship songs on the wards or whatever, or people just ask you questions about, you know, how do you handle difficult situations? And it's just through those, I think through relationships. She worked in for over 30 years, and so people got to know her. I think it was relational rather than obviously like
just preaching.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus is, you know, intentionally. No, I'm not saying like intentionally is wrong, but sometimes we're too limited.
Yes, and like in the NHS, that's kind of, you have more restrictions, and you don't want to upset people either. But like, so I think just by getting to know people,
building up relationship, and go for extra miles, just like you do. You know, making the apple crumble.
Yeah.
Yes. You need to share with us your recipe.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy. It's BBC good food.
Yeah, to make apple crumble at the workspace.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you think what's the struggle when you are in a workspace and you want to share the gospel with them?
I think praying is probably a good thing. I know I sometimes just kind of like don't think about praying. I'm like, I'm in this situation where I want to share the gospel, and it doesn't feel like there's an easy way to do it. I think talking it through with God, seeing if God has any opportunities and ways in. I feel like sometimes when you wait and see if for God to provide an opportunity, sometimes he does. I think it's like noticing like the small times, like if someone offers you a ride home, not American, a lift home, like from work, it's like making the most of that opportunity to ask, like, you know, what do you get up to on the weekends or something, and then you talk about, I go to church, and
start with the little chat.
This is why. I mean, there's definitely times where I've missed those opportunities and like chickened out a bit, but it's just like, I think just taking your time, not rushing to do it, and like, obviously there is a bit of urgency because we want people to come to heaven with us, but yeah, it's just, I think, taking time and taking a few breaths and just kind of seeing what little opportunities there are as well as big opportunities. Offering to pray for people is a good one, actually. Coming to think about it,
Matthew and Immi the other day. So there's a brother and sister named Matthew. I think you guys saw it in the previous episodes, and they just met Rob at the park.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he got the T-shirt on. It's like, oh, what could I pray for you today?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, it inspired us, and I think I'm gonna print some hoodie out. So we're gonna.
That's washed. They've washed off now, so we need to get some printed ones. I just did it in some like ink, but
you did it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Come on.
But yeah, offering to pray for people, like, I think whatever situation you're in, maybe. I mean, I'm speaking from my experience.
Yeah.
Very rarely have people said no to prayer.
Okay.
Like, that's kind of a way in, really. Like, if I've seen someone sitting on their own on Castle Street, on the high street near us, and they look sad, just go up to them and you start chatting, and it's like, oh, like, can I pray for you?
Can I just pray for you, right?
And they say yes. I mean, it's easy. Like, with my grandma the other day, she's not a Christian, but she has been struggling with her leg, and I've never offered to pray for her. I mean, I talk about what I do, but on like a level, like not in like any deep way. But she just said that, oh, can you pray for my knee? And then I was like, oh, that's it. That's kind of like a way in. So I just feel like that is a really simple way to do it. Like, even if you just like, you know, someone at work is struggling, it's like, oh, like, either, even if it's not like, can I pray for you there and then, just be like, oh, I'm praying for you. I feel like I appreciate it when people say that. So I feel like most people would, even if they don't believe in a God, just the knowing that someone's taken the time out of their day to think about them and pray about and talk to God about them.
The sense of, you know, they feel like they're cared for.
Yes. I think that's it.
That's good.
Yeah. It's not just like said, oh, you know, I feel sorry for you, I'm sorry about whatever it is you're going through. It's like, then you're taking, it's that compassion, you're taking, you're doing something about the sympathy that you feel for someone. And I think that's a good place to start. Yeah.
That's great. Any last advice?
Last advice.
For the brother and sister out there, they are not working in church, but they still working outside. You know, they work outside of the church, but they're still doing their thing.
Yeah, I think maybe just what I've already said, like, have a think what gifts and skills have people given you, even if it's like you're really good at Minecraft. I know people who've started churches on Minecraft, like virtual churches. Like, what are the gifts and skills that God has given to you, and trying that, how can you use them for God? I don't think evangelism or ministry needs to look a certain way, which is what you're exploring. Like, it's not just someone standing at the front and saying it, or standing in the street and telling people, but it's like through like your art, I guess, that communicates a lot to people. Or even if it's something random like crocheting, like you can crochet for people, and I don't know, like there's lots of different ways that you can bless people, and I think that's a good start. So even if you think it's a really random a random hobby or skill or gift, I think
sometimes it's not about creativity, sometimes it's just authenticity as well. Right?
Just to be
just observe yourself. What you're good at, and do certain things.
Or even if it's like, what are you struggling with? Like, that can often, God can often use that. I mean, it's rubbish, whatever it is that the person's going through, but I feel like God can often use that to connect to other people. Like, I feel like often it's the classic English thing, how are you? Fine. Even if it's not true. I feel like it's like, oh, actually, I'm struggling with this, but I've been talking to God about it. Or even though I'm having a rubbish time, I still believe that God is good. And I feel like that's a powerful testimony to people. Again, I'm not always good at doing that. Sometimes I'm like, oh, life is rubbish, and just like wallow in that. But I think when people see that you're
You're
going
being
through
authentic and being yourself. Yeah. Sharing that vulnerability as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's great.
Woohoo.
That's it. So that's the end of the episode. So if you guys got any similar experience, or if you guys got anything to share, please if you guys got anything that you want to share about you're completely outside of church, but you serving yourself hard and devote yourself to the Lord, and you got any skills or anything you want to share, even something that we could pray for, because we're trying to build the community here in YouTube as well. So please just leave your comment, and please share it, and please like the thing, and just share it out. So see you guys next time. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.